Peter Dutton is out today. He was taking aim at social media giants and their lack of willingness, I guess, to protect kids online. I think he's on a good policy here as well. He's vowed to raise the minimum age of access to social media from 13 up to 16 within 100 days of being voted in. Sophie, good idea?
I think
or is it practical? Do we make it happen?
It's going to be hard to enforce. I think I was listening to Talkback Radio on this today, and there's a lot of parents, ringing up saying we don't know what to do with our kids who are addicted to social media. They're on these platforms. They don't know what they're doing on these platforms. So I think there has to be some sort of intervention.
Yep.
But it's how do you actually enforce this? And it'll be interesting to see when more details come to light. But I think a lot of parents in Australia, Steve, rightly so, are concerned and are open to options of trying to fix this serious problem.
Well, we have to have the conversation, don't we, Daniel? I mean, I heard someone on radio today saying that perhaps it's the devices that need to get involved as well as the social media giants. This guy was from Facebook. He said, well, if you can't access it as that age because a device won't let you, maybe that's a better way to go.
I agree with that point. I think this is really the first step to what will be more extensive regulation of access to that content. I share Sophie's view that every single parent is concerned about this, and I think it's good that Peter Dutton has recognised this problem. Parents have to be the first port of call, but there's only so much they can do. I will say that there is a deeper question in our society, which is why are children so glued to smartphones and social media? And I think it's to escape a lot of the cultural malaise and the negativity they're presented with. I mean, kids go to school, what are they told? We're on stolen land, we're a racist country, the world's going to end, young men are the cause of all the problems, and your parents are bad for contributing to all of this. So they're presented with a very nihilistic view of the world, so it's no wonder they want to escape it.
Sophie, part of the issue, of course, is that the parents themselves are wedded to their phones. I mean, it's hard to tell your children not to be using their device when their parents are doing exactly the same thing.
Well, they look at what their parents are doing, don't they, Steve? Yeah. Especially really little kids. You see, the cafes or whatever, they're sitting there with a device because the parents just want them to be occupied. But I think this is something that does need to be dealt with, and I think if Peter Dutton can share more information of how it will work, because I think people are a bit sceptical. How do you actually intervene and have a limit?
Well, he says he's going to do it within 100 days, so presumably he's got to find someone in the world who can tell him how he's going to actually do that. I mean, I had a big crack at Daniel Andrews on commercial TV this week on the project, and I copped a huge amount of abuse on Twitter. I've finally realised Twitter is only occupied by lunatics from the left, Daniel.
Yep.
They just went to town on me. I've written a column about it for the paper tomorrow, but Twitter's just a sewer now.
Well, at least it gave you content for a column, so that's one of the
good thing.
One of the upsides. But no, look, you're right. Social media, particularly Twitter, is not representative of society as a whole, and I think a lot of people will be. Well, it's definitely not. I mean, if it was, it would have been an 80% yes vote. Instead, it was a 40% yes vote. So, no, I think people will be a lot better off if they limit their time on social media and get out in the real world rather than getting too focused on, a small group of individuals.